Sandy Says Read. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we are going to film the After Imaginarium. Wait, I actually have a name for this tag. I call it the Back from Imaginarium tag. I want to make sure I do this right because I passed out all these pieces of paper at Imaginarium. So I want to make sure everyone's doing the same thing, right? Starting with me. So the Imaginarium Convention took place in Louisville. We're going to say last weekend. It was October 5th through the 7th, and it was awesome. Oh my goodness. The program from Imaginarium, I should give a shout out to the sponsors, right? Hydra Publications, Per Bastet, of course, 7th Star Press, Big Rents, and Healing Hands Entertainment. It was fantastic. There were so many panels and workshops and author readings, and that was just the learning stuff that was going on, okay? Then there were rooms where you could do gaming, and then there was a vendor hall where you could buy stuff, and we're going to look at some of the stuff I bought. There was so much going on. Oh yeah, and at the other end of the hall, there was a film festival going on where you could watch films that were up for judging this year. I mean, it was amazing. It was so just wonderful. There was so much going on. There was something for everyone at this year's Imaginarium Convention. And then Saturday night at the banquet, there were awards. The Imadjinn Awards were given out for films, for short films, for novels of all kinds, and for short stories, anthologies. It was amazing. It was a great time. Folks, if you were not at the 2018 5-year anniversary of the Imaginarium Convention, then you need to make plans to be at the 2019 6-year Imaginarium Convention because it's awesome. Oh my gosh. It is the place for creative writers and gamers and people who build and create to go. I'm just going to say it. It was amazing. I had an awesome time, and I'm so glad that I went. I'm so glad that I participated as a panelist, as an author, as a human. It was great. And to top it all off, one of my very dear author friends that has been a friend of mine for I want to say 12 years, 11 or 12 years. And she came down to join me at the convention. We roomed together. We went to some panels together. We hung out together. Laura, it was awesome to see you again. And we had a great time. It was good to catch up with Laura and to just have a wonderful weekend. So now, without further ado, I'm going to do the Back from Imaginarium tag. Right. Number 1, introduce yourself. I am Sandy Lender. Number 2, what is your area of creative expertise or your favorite medium for creativity? And I am a fantasy writer. I like to write. And not just fantasy, but really any kind of speculative fiction. All right. Number 3, which panel, workshop, game, author reading, or other Imaginarium activity did you enjoy the most or get the most awesome info from? And I've thought about this, you guys. You know, I had a 12-hour drive back from Louisville to think about this. And it's a toss-up between 2 panels that I attended. These weren't panels that I served on. These were panels that I, was an audience member. It's a toss-up between Don't Kill the Dog and Other Plot Devices. And then Saturday morning, there was one called Raising Reviews. And I really got good information. I got good information out of every panel that I attended. I mean, they were just all really good. But those 2, the Raising Reviews, I got some good tips, some good ideas. I took a lot of notes because, when you've got books out there on Amazon, Amazon plays with its own algorithms, and it's this mysterious monster, and you just don't know. You need at least, usually the number is 50, you need at least 50 reviews before Amazon starts suggesting your book to others. It's just, it's a nightmare. And so I'm trying to come up with ways to get more reviews on my books. That was a very helpful panel. Number 4, which author, booktuber, publisher, gamer, filmmaker were you most stoked to meet at Imaginarium? Now, before I went to Imaginarium, I thought I was most excited to re-meet my friend Steven Zimmer. He's the one who came up with the Imaginarium Convention 5 years ago. This was his brainchild. And I hadn't seen him in years, and I was excited to see him again. But Holly Holly, I was so stoked to get to meet you in person and talk to you and just feed off of your energy. It was great to meet Holly in person, finally. Number 5, what non-Imaginarium activity did you totally enjoy while in Louisville? And this is weird, okay, guys? Because I do this construction magazine on the side. Yeah, it's the day job that pays the bills. Well, one of the advertisers in that construction magazine is based there in Louisville. So Friday morning, I stopped there and had lunch with them, and I got a factory tour of their business, and it was cool. It was awesome. It was so nice. And it was nice to get to visit with, those folks. I mean, the CEO of that company, I've known him for 20 years. So it was great to get to visit, and I really had fun doing that. And it had nothing to do with book writing or reviews on books. It was totally unrelated to Imaginarium. But it was there in Louisville, and it was great. I enjoyed it. Number 6, did you cosplay and show a picture? I did not cosplay. Laura didn't cosplay either, but we did enjoy seeing other people dressed up. There were a lot of steampunk costumes for the costume contest and the masquerade ball. People really went all out and looked gorgeous. It was Number 7. Did you pick up something awesome from a vendor and show a picture? And yes, I did pick up some awesome stuff. Let me show you. Okay. One of the awesome things I picked up, I actually got this as a free review copy. This is Remnants by Carolyn Arnold. So I'll be reading this and doing a review here on my BookTube channel shortly. It looks great. Oh, and it feels great. It's an FBI thriller. Next, I picked up the first in the Broken Gears trilogy. I think it's just a trilogy. Out of the Shadows by Dana Friedrich. This one had a little synopsis there that said it was like a mixture of Pride and Prejudice and steampunk. And that sounds wonderfully intriguing to me. Okay, next is an anthology of short stories that have to do with dragons by a writer group out of Cincinnati. Is it Cincinnati? I don't remember for sure if it was Cincinnati or somewhere else. Well, it says Southern Indiana, so maybe not Cincinnati. A little confused there, guys. Sorry. But anyway, I read the first short story in this book, I think Friday night. Laura and I were just, hanging out, getting ready to go to sleep. And I read this first short story, and it was really good. I was pleased with this. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the stories in this anthology. The next one up is 5 Minutes to Success, Master the Craft of Writing. This is by Jerry Faye Maynard and D.W. Vogel. Now, these two ladies, they presented the panel or the workshop on Friday night, which was Don't Kill the Dog and Other Plot Devices, that I got a lot of good information out of. So I wanted to attend their writing workshop the next day on Saturday, and I had some business to take care of, which I'll have an announcement about in the coming month or so. But I had some business to take care of, and I couldn't get to that workshop and attend. But Laura did attend it and took some notes, and she picked up this book for me and got it signed by the authors, which I thought was so sweet and so nice. Thank you again, Laura. It's great. There is, a ton of good information and worksheets and questions to answer, about your writing and your writing practice and your writing regimen in this book. It is, master the craft of writing and work through these problems, work through these ideas. Next up, I was so intrigued when I saw this on the table. This one is by D.W. Vogel. Look at it. It's dinosaurs. It's dinosaurs in space. I know. You know, I have a Dragons in Space series that I write. So when I saw dinosaurs in space, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But I walked up to the table and I'm like, how did you get the rights for these images? Because there's a dinosaur on the front cover of each of the novels in her series. And she's like, I got an awesome publisher. I'm like, gosh, yeah, you do. But this was just so intriguing to me. I mean, I was hooked. Look at this cover. Yeah, of course I'm hooked. And then the story idea is intriguing as well. This is going to be a good read. And when I get through with it, I'm going to have to go online and order the rest of her books. Okay, so those are the things I picked up. I did also pick up another item that was not a book, but it is a Christmas gift for a friend of mine. So I'm not going to show it on camera, because if that friend of mine sees it, then the Christmas gift surprise will be ruined. So I can't show that on camera. Sorry, guys. Number 8. What is something surprising or just plain new that you learned at this year's Imaginarium? Oh my gosh, you guys, I could not just pick one thing. There was so much going on. All the time there was so much going on. And this was the first year that I had attended Imaginarium, so most of the things hitting me were fairly new. But something that I found intriguing, I guess, something that I got out of like the panels, was that fairy tales and steampunk are still kind of hot commodities in publishing right now. Now, that's not to say that there's still going to be hot commodities to pitch to agents, you know, next quarter, but like right now, there's still hot items. Question number 9. Do you want to go back for Imaginarium 2019? Yes. And who do you want to see there as a special guest? And you know what? I am totally going to contact Stephen and Holly, and I'm going to suggest Alan Tudyk, because the you know, that Con Man series that he crowdfunded and put together as a show, that is just right up their alley at Imaginarium. The people who attend Imaginarium, the people who work on the filming side of things especially, I think would just dig having Alan there as a special guest. I think his creativity, his marketing, his crowdfunding abilities, everything about that, I think he would be an awesome special guest, and I'm going to suggest it. All right, that's it for the questions. Number 10 is to give a shout out to some booktubers or YouTubers that you met at Imaginarium and to tag these folks. So I can't just narrow it down to one. There were so many good folks I met. Imaginarium was amazing. I had a good time on my author reading panel. It wasn't your typical author reading. I mean, there were several of us on the panel. We first discussed author readings and kind of gave the audience some tips or some ideas for what to do at an author reading. The moderator, you know, asked us some questions that we could share with the audience before we each had 10 minutes to read from our works. And it just went really well. It flowed nicely. I thought it was a great way to run an author reading. I mean, it wasn't just one author sitting in a room reading something. There was interaction, and I thought that was smart. I thought that was good. I read a scene, the dragon on the balcony scene. I read that from Choices Meant for Gods, and it went over well. People, you know, people like it. People always like that scene because it's just so cute. That's it, you guys. I'm going to tag some folks below. Please give this a thumbs up because Imaginarium is creatively wonderful. And please subscribe to the channel. You've got to click the bell icon so you can be notified when I update this channel with new good stuff. Thanks so much, guys.